Quick disclaimer, this video is shot by a total noob. This is actually, at the time of this specific recording, this is my second region ever. And after doing a little bit of searching on the internet, I couldn't really find any information about how to manipulate the flow of water in a meaningful way, or how to flood in a huge farm plot land that's of irregular size, that's not just a square. So actually, in this YouTube video, these are the things I'm here to address. So let's rewind the clock and go back to the beginning before my test. You'll see this corridor with some floodgates installed, and then you'll see a little square that has a channel. The channel is going to allow the water to flow from the top left down into the designated farming area. Okay, in order to flood the entire area I'm building up pressure using the floodgates. As you can see, the water could just never could quite make it down here. Pressure's built up pretty well. I'm gonna release the lever and let's see how quickly it floods the area. Okay, so building up pressure prior to releasing it has a significant increase in how long it takes to fill the chamber. However, I'm still not satisfied. I believe there's a better way out there. Okay, this marks the beginning of test number 2. I went ahead and rearranged some things. Key differences being, this is now a full block flow instead of a corner, and this channel is now in the center. All right, this is pretty well primed. We're gonna go ahead and open up the floodgates. I think that's about as good as we're gonna get with this test. This process is still a lot better, but I'll probably have to keep tinkering around and find a better methodology. Hey, this is peak prototype in post-editing. In real time, that seemed faster than the first one, simply because the water filled a little bit more of the surface area. But with the timer, it's easy to spot that this is still slow. So the current methodology employed is not going to be a viable strategy for anything beyond a 50 dwarf settlement. Have you ever just restarted because you had no viable farming location? And then when you found one with a viable farming location, the sudden realization that the soil still sucks? All right, time to do some science. Okay, looking at the results of test number 2, where we place the hole where the water drops in the center, it's pretty consistent about filling the areas with water in a radius of 7 squares. So let's go ahead and design a system that will still allow us to use this mechanism, but keep the area of use most efficient. Okay, so the idea I had was to create a reservoir to store a bunch of water near the top, and then flood the below chambers to create a bunch of mud. That way we can have a vertical farm. Now that these systems are set up into place, I'll be able to fill this multi-floor diamond-shaped chamber that has a hatch at the bottom that I can release to flood this with water. Let's see how it goes. Let's flood this chamber and see how quickly it fills up. Oh my God, that was literally instant. I did not do a jump cut. That's gonna be a problem. I was hoping for it to evaporate and create mud. Okay, now that we know the water flow is instantaneous, we've reloaded back to a prior save so we can do this again. But we're gonna add another piece to the system. Begin test 3, version B. So the first room we're gonna be filling up is this oval shaped room. It's a little bit wider than the reservoir, but the reservoir is deep. So let's see how fast this fills up. Here's a demonstration of a relief channel in the event that you make a mistake, such as forgetting to dig a hole underneath the hatch that releases the water to the floor below. Took a little detour, made a mistake, went through the effort of carving out this diamond-shaped reservoir and installing a hatch at the bottom that's controlled by a lever. Problem was, I forgot to dig a hole, so it could not get to this section of the cavern. So as you can see over here on the right, I've installed some kind of room that'll evaporate the water over time. I installed a series of floodgates on the right side with floor vents, or floor bars rather, to let the water drain quickly. In order to not allow my dwarves to die, I had to cut one section at a time, because if you cut from the bottom, the water pressure is so strong that it just obliterates dwarves. And okay, now we can begin the test. Version B. So let's flip the lever, releasing the corridor. Oops. Let's get this reservoir filled up again. Priming the reservoir is, oh shoot. Oh, unintended consequence discovered. Installing the well here allowed the water to flow right on through. All right, I guess we're gonna have to reload and secure that. All right, relocated the well up top. I'm hoping the elevation difference will not allow the water to seep up into the dining hall, but we shall see. Okay, well at one elevation higher, did not overflow. Begin test number 3, version B. Test is going to begin by pulling this lever, opening up the hatch at the bottom of this reservoir, and filling this zone with water. Okay, that was very fast. Let's go take a look at the water above. All right, so it looks like the first 2 elevations completely emptied with water almost immediately, filling up this area. Let's close this reservoir up here at the top. Let it begin filling with water again. Let's open up the hatch to connect this zone with this zone. All right, water fills pretty fast still. Let's open up the next one into Mr. Mushroom Man. Simply beautiful. This was exactly what I was hoping for. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plug on this zone, let this flow into the next reservoir chamber that I've built in anticipation of this. This time, however, I open it up before putting the hatch on. I believe that concludes this test. If you enjoyed this pseudo-scientific approach into cultivating viable farmland in Dwarf Fortress, you might enjoy the next video where I weaponize the water system